Hello and welcome back. We're almost ready to start programming, but before we do so, in this video I just want to cover a couple of quick issues. First, what is programming and why have we chosen to use Python as our programming language in 121? And second, we'll look at some of the tools that you'll be using both in the labs, in the Erskine building, and the software that you'll need to install on your home machine, whether it be a laptop or desktop, if you want to do some of the work at home. Later videos this week will cover our introductory concepts in programming, including expressions, assignment statements, and functions. As you probably already know, programs are the instructions that tell a computer what to do. And these instructions may form a large application like Microsoft Word or Skype or a web browser, or they may just be a few lines that do some useful data processing for you, such as analyzing some data for an assignment you have in a different course. Different languages, most different languages include a common set of constructs. So constructs like variables, procedures, functions, object orientation, list processing, loops. These are things you'll be introduced to in COSC 121, and you'll find them in pretty much any language that you could look at, like C or Java or JavaScript. So the concepts are common across languages, but different languages make it differently difficult to learn how to program. We used to use Java prior to Python, and gradually Richard and I became frustrated with the difficulty of learning how to program in Java, because it required that you learn too many concepts on your first day. Learning to program in Python is a very much more easy experience, because we can drip feed concepts to you bit by bit. So we really like teaching Python, and we think it's a great first-year programming language. It's also good for a variety of other reasons, including the fact that it's free, you don't need to pay to download it. It's elegant, which means the programs that you produce tend to be more simple than they would be if they were written in a different language. It's powerful, meaning that a very short program can achieve quite a significant programming effect. In other languages, the programs would tend to be larger to achieve the same or similar outcomes. And it's also highly relevant. If you want to be a chemist or a biologist or a psychologist or an engineer, you are likely to find that there are packages available to you that have been written by others in the Python language. And these packages make it very easy for you to use the effort of others to help you write your programs quickly and easily. And if you're going to work for industry as a computer scientist and a professional programmer, Python is also one of the favored languages by many, many companies, including companies like Google now. So, getting started with labs is really important for you, because the labs are the place that you're going to do most of your programming. So how do you see the lab material? Well, there's a website available for you. It's quiz2018.csse.canterbury.ac.nz. So you're likely to want to make a bookmark to that webpage, because you will be going to it regularly. Once you get there, you can use your normal university username and password to log on to the site, and then you can select COSC 121 and self-enroll. Once you've done all of this, you'll be able to see the lab material, and I'm going to quickly show you some of the material in Lab 1, just so you're familiar with what you'll see. So remember, you're supposed to be doing Lab 1 this week, the Getting Started lab. So over here I have a web browser, and you'll see that I've already gone to quiz2018.csse.canterbury.ac.nz, and I'm going to select the link to COSC 121. So the website will look slightly different by the time you get to it, but this is just to give you a feel for what it's like. There'll be a link to the labs over here, and there's a sidebar here that also gives you shortcuts to much of the material that you'll be using in the course. I'm going to go to practice copies of the quizzes for now. You'll actually be going to labs. This is just for convenience for me. So you'll see a link to the different labs. I'll go into Lab 1, and I've actually tried it already, so I can continue my last attempt. I'll click that button. And what you see here this is what you'll see when you go to the labs to do your own work. There are information segments, and these are surrounded in blue, and it's just telling you details that are important for you in working through the lab. Okay, so you're expected, required, really, if you want to pass the lab successfully, to read all of this material. There's also a sidebar on the right that allows you to quickly navigate to different bits of the lab, and you can see that I've worked my way through some of these portions. So the bits that are grey I've already gone through, and the bits that are unfilled I haven't been to yet. There are also some questions within the quizzes, and you can see I've got question 1 right, it's green, and question 2 I got that wrong. So you can use these links to go quickly to the places where you've got things right and wrong. It's very important that you do read all of the information sections. Okay? It's tempting to just go and hunt out the different questions and try the questions and see if you can get them right. But often the questions are drawing immediately. In fact, normally the questions are drawing immediately on the material that's presented in the information segments above. So do read the material. So what you'll find are there are a variety of questions, and there'll be all sorts of different forms of questions. Most of them will be CodeRunner questions later, where there's actually some executable code that you're expected to write and input into boxes in the quiz. So here's the question 2 that I got wrong earlier on, and you can see down here it's telling me I've got question 2 incorrect. It's telling me that I've received a submission penalty of 0.33 for my previous incorrect attempt. And so far, because I haven't got it right, I've got 0 out of 1 for this question. So which of the following statements best describes the use of submit, all, and finish button? That's the question, and the answer is actually contained in the information section up above. I'm going to carry on guessing my answer, so my previous selection was wrong. I'll try this one next, and I can check my selection by clicking the button check. And it just so happens, there's my green tick, I got it right on my second go, and because I had a penalty from a previous try, I've now scored 0.67 out of 1. That will remain the score that I get for this particular question in this quiz. I can even go ahead and try the last option. This isn't a particularly sensible thing to do, but if I'm interested in what feedback that might come back, I can look at it. No, once you've clicked submit and finish, that is it. Finito, no more attempts. So I can see that answer and the additional information associated with it. But if you look at this now, accounting for previous tries, this gives 0.67 out of 1. So it's recorded the fact that I got it right on an earlier attempt. So I'm not going to lose marks by exploring more after the fact. I can go back. I've now got it right again. I've got 1 out of 1, but accounting for previous attempts, I'm now at 0.67 out of 1. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward working through these labs. It's actually quite good fun after a while, chasing these green ticks, especially when the questions get more involved. So I'm really hoping you'll enjoy working through the labs. So you should be doing quiz 1 this week, and you'll need something called Wing 101 to help you in working through that lab. We'll look at that next. So the software that you're going to need if you're working at home, there's 2 main things that you need to download. You need to get Python, preferably version 3.6, but any version 3 of Python will do. 3.6 is the most recent one. It was released in December, I think. So you might as well get that one. It's really the best version, and it's the one we'll be using in the labs at the university. The place you go to get Python, regardless of whether you're a Windows user or an Apple Mac user, is www.python.org/downloads. So you go there, select the right version of the software, and install it. It's a very simple install. The other piece of software that you'll be using is called Wing IDE 101. It comes from wingware.com. This is the link to it. wingware.com/downloads, Wing IDE-101. It's really important that you get Wing IDE 101 rather than any of the other versions from Wingware. Wingware is a company. It sells a variety of integrated development environments. These are environments that support you in programming, but some of them are commercial, and this is the version that they release free for educational use. So it's Wing 101 that you need, no other version. Version 6 is the current version, and again it's available for all of the major operating systems, so it's a simple and easy install. So get the free version, Wing IDE 101, not Wing IDE Personal or Wing IDE Professional. These are not the versions that are used in the lab, and they will be different from the environment that you have access to when you come to do your exams. There's one little trick if you're an Apple Mac user that you need to tell Wing IDE 101 to access Python version 3. So the way you do that is you go, once you've installed Wingware, you go to the Edit menu, you go to Configure Python, and you just make sure here you click the Custom button and type in Python 3. Once you've done that, click OK, and everything should work just fine. Of course, if you don't have your own computer and you're reliant on the lab machines at the university, that's absolutely fine. Those machines already have this software installed. You don't need to install anything. So Wing IDE 101 is going to become very important for us, and this is what it looks like when you run it. You may see some additional panes which we don't need for now, such as a pane off on the right that has this call stack and exceptions data. For now, we can just hide that. You may see a pane off to the left at the bottom as well that has more stack data and other options that, again, we don't need for now. What we need for now are, in particular, this region at the bottom called the shell. And soon we'll need this region up here that is going to be used for writing programs. And we can create more tabs across here, and we'll see how to do that later. Okay, so this down here is called the Python shell pane, and this up here is our programming and editing area when we come to write programs. We'll leave it there for now, and next time we'll actually start doing some programming. Thanks.